All right, guys, we're going to do this problem here, and then you'll have the rest of the time to work on the assignment. So this one here, x squared plus 4x equals 7x plus 18. And again, what's inside the absolute value? Because once we get it by itself, is going to equal the other side, so 7x plus 18. The positive of it, and it will also equal the negative, because what's inside the absolute value could be positive or negative. So we have to set this other side for the positive case and the negative case. Now at this point here, we need to get both of these equations equal to 0. So for the left-hand side, we would subtract 7x from both sides, telling us x squared minus 3x. Well, we could also do what? Subtract 18. Minus 18 is equal to 0. Now at this point here, this equation is factorable. We can factor it. We can also graph it too, if we wanted to. Now we're going to factor it because, again, the placement test to get into college algebra is not going to let you use a graphing calculator. We found that out. Yeah, they have a calculator that you can use, but it's not going to be a graphing calculator. So, and the reason I say that is because if they let you use a graphing calculator at this point, we could have it graph x squared minus 3x minus 18. We have the answers. So it's good to see both. Since the sign of our third term is negative, our signs are opposite, positive and negative. Our factors of x squared are x and x. Now the factors of 18. Which one do we want to try first? 3 and 6. Which one's positive? Which one's negative? Negative 6. And if we check this here, x times negative 6 would be negative 6x. 3 times x would be positive 3x, giving us indeed our middle term of negative 3x. Now we do have two things multiplied together to equal 0, yes? So either x plus 3 is 0 or x minus 6. Solve. So two of our solutions are negative 3 and 6. Now we do need to solve the other equation. Now the first thing we can do is distribute that negative through the parentheses. So our 7x becomes negative. Our positive 18 also becomes negative. Now at this point here, we need to get this equal to 0. So we can add 7x to both sides. We can also add 18. So we'd have x squared plus 11x plus 18 is equal to 0. Luckily for us, this will indeed factor. Now, since our third term is positive, our signs are the same and match the sign of the middle term. Factors of x squared are x and x. Well, factors of 18, we already have them listed. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Which ones do we want to use? 2 and 9. Let's check it again, just to make sure. X times 9 would be 9x. 2 times x would be plus, giving us 11x. Two things multiplied together equals 0. One of them must be 0. Here we would subtract 2 from both sides, telling us x is equal to negative 2. Here we can subtract 9 from both sides, so minus x is equal to negative 9. So we have these 4 solutions here. Questions on this here? All right. So we need to check our solutions. At this point, we're just plugging these back into the equation and seeing which one works. So, negative 3, negative 2, 6, negative 9. Yeah. Negative 3, negative 2, 6, and negative 9, yes? Which one do we want to try first? Negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3 squared plus 4 times negative 3 is equal to 7 times negative 3 plus 18. Now, especially for this here, for any of the tests and stuff we take in class, you can use a calculator. I'd just be typing it out. Yes?
Once you use the absolute value in the
Graphing,
yeah.
math, and then over 1. So I can show you this here with the graphing calculator, because we can go math over 1 and get this here. And I think it was 4 times negative 3. Or negative 3 squared plus 4 times negative 3. Yeah. Squared plus 4 times negative 3. And that gives us 3. I'm going to parse that for a second. And the other side would be 7 times negative 3 plus 18. Okay. Anyway, I'm writing it down for myself so that y'all. So what it told us here is that 3 is equal to negative 3. No. So negative 3 is not a solution. Now we can do the same thing for negative 2, 6, and negative 9, yes? All right. So negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2. 7 times 2 plus 18. Now in the graphing calculator, we're going to say negative 2 next. So the button that's above on, actually on both calculators it has this. What this STO button is store X. Yep. And what this does is anytime you hit X from now on, it says that that's value is negative 2. Now, the reason that it can be nice is we can say absolute value of X squared plus 4X. Its value is 4. The other side is 7X plus 18. Okay. So that tells us that 4 is equal to 4. So negative 2 is our answer. Okay. That's neither here nor there, because we had to store X and we had to type the whole thing in on both sides, yes? What was our next solution we could try? 6. Store X. Well, now the calculator recognizes X as 6. I can go up and highlight this and press enter. It brings it back down. I hit enter again. It tells us it is 60. Okay. So with 6, 60 equals 60, so that is a solution. Come back over and say negative 9, store X. I have a feeling this is going to be negative 45. So negative 2 and 6 are the only two solutions that do work. Questions on this here? Now, one other thing that is interesting with graphing, clear both of those out, math over absolute value of squared plus 4x and 7x plus so we have these two graphs. The one on top, the one in blue that looks like a W, is the absolute value one. The one in red is our other side. Now if I go second table, now we said one of the solutions was negative 2, yes? We're looking for whether it's equal. What value will make the y's be equal? Here, when x is negative 2, they're both 4. So a solution for this is x is negative 2. And we said the other one was 6. And if we look at when x is 6, the y value is the same. That's where they both cross. Does that make sense? Now, we're used to it being, when we graph, we're looking for what value of x will make the y value be 0, yes? Now, the only way we can do that with graphing is if I move everything to the same side. So we'd have to subtract the 7x, subtract the 18 to get it equal to 0. And it does indeed cross the x-axis at negative 2 and 6. So that's another way to solve them. But, is it there? Yes. Let's see. So, 4x plus 4 equals negative 4.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
What page?
So that's P1. So there we go. 5x over 4 plus 1/2. Okay. Plus 1/2 is equal to x. Okay. So the first thing that'd be helpful to do is to get rid of the fractions. Because if we can get rid of all these fractions, it's going to make it easier to work with. So what we can do is multiply everything by 4. Here the 4 and 4 will cancel. So just 5x. 4 times 1/2 would be 2. The other side we'd have 4x minus 2. Now at this point here, we can get x by itself. So minus 4x from both sides. We can also subtract 2. Because here the 2's would cancel out. Here the x's would cancel out. 5x minus 4x is going to be x. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. Well, we could check at 5 times negative 4 over 4 plus 1/2. See if it's equal to negative 4 minus 1/2. Sometimes it might be just one number. Yes. Here, the 4 and 4 would simplify to just negative 1. So we have negative 5 plus 1/2 is equal to negative 4 minus 1/2. Well, this would be negative 4.5. And this is negative 4.5. And that's it.